Well, welcome back to the podcast, Conversations with Jeff Bucknam. Dr. Jeff Bucknam is the lead pastor of teaching and vision at Harvest Bible Chapel in Chicagoland. And I'm your co-host, Tommy Creutz. And we're going to have a conversation with someone today because we believe that everyone has a story. But before we get into that conversation, we're going to have a conversation about whatever we want. And you might be, if you're watching today, if you're listening, there's no change.
Yeah.
It's the same. But if you're watching, you're noticing a bit of a change right now.
We did not choose the change.
No.
It was a change that was thrust upon us, Tommy.
Yes. For such a time as this.
Yeah. Because apparently more people will listen to your podcast if you sit in two chairs that kind of face each other, don't wear headphones, and have cameras pointed at you in a dark room.
Yep.
They've done studies, you know.
Yep. There's podcast studies that show that this is the way right here.
Yeah.
But actually, this is actually not even it's not even its final form.
No.
Jeff. It is under construction at the moment.
Yeah.
And
by construction, we mean just the placement of some lights and things are not the same place.
And maybe even chairs. And
are we going to get different chairs?
I have no idea.
All right.
Do you like your chair?
Nah, not particularly.
Yeah, me either. It's a little stiff. It's fine. I have a bad back though. You know?
Okay.
It's like just a thing that happens. Jeff, I want to
Tommy, it's not about the presentation. It's about the content.
Yeah,
that's what we like to say.
Yep. That's what the people listen in for, is the content of what it is that you and I are going to talk about right now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously we've got the story. The story, people fast forward through this.
Yeah, I know.
So, but can I ask you a couple things?
Yeah, let's go.
So, are you a Nintendo guy?
So, Tommy, let me tell you something very important about me.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Nintendo national headquarters area.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Redmond, Washington.
Yeah. The North American.
So I had friends actually who used to work at Nintendo, and they had a job back when I was in high school. Of course, that's, like Nintendo 64 time, right? And they used to test games. And I thought that was the single greatest thing in the world. They would go after school and they'd play video games for a couple hours, and then they would have to write a small report and, tick certain boxes and say, I give this a 4 or a 3 or something like that. That was their job.
That is a cool job.
Do you think?
Yeah. For a high schooler?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best job in the world.
So yet, am I a Nintendo guy? I have played Nintendo before.
When's the last time you've played a Nintendo?
A long time.
Okay.
I played the Wii.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that the last one? You didn't even go for the Wii U?
What is that?
That's the one that had the little or the big,
isn't there a Switch now?
handheld.
Isn't that a thing? That's the big thing?
Yep.
So my daughter-in-law, she has a Switch,
Yep.
and she plays it, from time to time.
Okay. So you've got Nintendo in the family.
I see it.
So, yeah,
I see the Nintendo Switch.
So if you wanted to play some Mario Kart, you could rock some Mario Kart.
I could. I was pretty good at Mario Kart back in the day.
Back in the day, back in the N64 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I ask that is, well, you're a gamer too, so you'll understand this. So the Switch 2 just got announced. The Nintendo Switch 2.
So what is that going to do?
So this is their the Switch 1, which is what.
Yeah.
It is the upgraded version of that, So the consoles, they always are,
Is this a big upgrade?
It's a sizable upgrade for the Switch. It's still, it doesn't super compete with like your PlayStation 5, Xbox, but it's for the Switch, it's good. It's about 10 times more powerful than the first Switch. So
do you have one?
I have the first original Switch.
No, so you don't need the second one.
Well, the second one's better. It's better.
Well, no, it's better.
Here's the thing. Okay, so
it's 2. The first one was only 1. This one's 2.
And it has a bunch of other features, like a bigger screen.
And it says 2 on it.
And it says 2. And you need 2. You don't want to be a loser with 1.
Totally.
Right? So they released it, or sorry, they haven't released it yet. They're doing pre-orders and whatnot. But they announced it, and they jacked up the price.
Ooh.
So $450 for a Switch 2, which is about the same price as a PS5. But a PS5 is significantly more powerful.
Yeah.
And the games. So we were like looking at a couple of games in the future that might be more expensive than the $60 standard price tag, $59.99, you know, for a game. The Switch 2 has broken that. So they're going to release all of their games at $80 for the digital version and $90 for the physical copy.
So the digital version is like you can just access it online.
Yeah, you got to download it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
so you can only have a certain number.
So you can only have a certain number because of your memory, right?
I got it.
But here's the funny thing is that like that most people would buy the physical cartridge because then they own the game. You own it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Whereas if you get a digital copy, they could cut you off at any time.
At any time, Tommy.
At any moment, they could say, you can't play. If you got the digital, you could play.
So are you willing to pay the $90 for the physical
Here's
cartridge?
the funny part about that is for most of the games that are going to come with a physical copy, it's not even the full game. It's just a key card to download the full game.
Oh, so you're not happy about this?
Well, this is Nintendo being greedy.
Ooh.
Right? This is what the people say. I'm not giving my opinion, okay? I'm a neutral party.
How
here.
do you get this information? Is this something that you read about? Like if we went to the Creutz home late at night, Tommy's sitting on his chair. Remember back in the day where the husband would have his slippers on and his pipe in his mouth, and he'd have the New York Times or Chicago Tribune up there, and that'd be. But now, if we went to your house, you still have the pipe in your mouth and the slippers on your feet,
always.
But you have
But I so I listen.
What do you're listening to?
I listen to like video journalistic content. I don't as much read articles, although I do. But I don't read.
You listen to a podcast, basically.
I listen to a podcast.
Got it.
So you might be thinking like, wow, why is this podcast always so great? It's because, we constantly are listening. We're listening and learning.
Yeah, no, I love this. So when does this come out?
This year.
That doesn't help anyone this year.
I believe in like the next, I think over the summer. I don't know. I'm looking at everyone in the room.
Really?
You guys know?
Summer this year. Lewis knows. Lewis is right into it.
This is big news. If you're in the Nintendo community at all, it's more expensive console and then more expensive games, which you're going to be like, that's Nintendo. They stink, whatever.
Oh, but now the others are going to match it.
Because now PlayStation and Xbox, they're going to jack up their prices.
Yeah.
Games now, unless we can, so my clarion call to all of our, to our listeners is boycott Nintendo. Don't let them win. All right.
Okay.
Don't let them win. Don't pay $80 for a game, or else all of our games forever are going to be $80.
There you go. I think they're probably going to get people to pay $80 for their game.
I think so too. Although I did think about it. I was like, all right, my son, he loves the Switch. But if he came to me and he was like, Dad, one, I want you to buy a $450 console for me, I'd be like, you got a lot of lawns you need to go mow. But then if he came and was like, Dad, I want an $80 video game, I would have like back in my day.
Yeah, that's how old you are now, Tom.
Yeah, I can finally do that.
Yeah.
I finally have a day.
Did you mow lawns when you were a kid?
Of course.
You did?
Yeah. And,
did you have your own little lawnmower?
I shoveled their driveway.
You had your own little lawnmower you brought around to their place?
Yeah, I used my dad.
How much would a Creutz cut
$15,
cost?
$15, $20.
All right, I'll pay you $15 to come to my house and mow my lawn.
All right. You got a mower?
Everybody heard it. Tommy's coming. No, bring. You just said you had your own one.
Me or Zion? Zion. Yeah.
No, you.
Oh, me personally. Yeah, I'll bring mine.
Okay.
How big is your yard?
It's fine.
Like what are we talking?
No,
an acre?
Don't worry about
under
it.
An acre?
It'll be good.
It's under an acre.
It'll be good. It'll take you.
If it's under an acre, it's fine.
It's under an acre.
Okay, that's good.
It'll take you a little time.
My growing up, what were we at? 1.5.
And you did it with a push mower?
No. We had a Cub Cadet rider.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you want me to be out there all day?
Kind of.
Well, I know what I'm doing for Saturday. I'm just going to be mowing the lawn
for $15.
For $15 the whole day.
Was it a zero turn one? Did you have one of those?
No. It was
like a little wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The cheaper. My dad has a zero turn now.
Ooh.
Because of course,
when you're a lawn mowing guy and you get old enough and you can afford something like that, you're immediately like, yeah, I'm going to get me one of those golf course ones.
Yeah. All of the fun toys happened when I left.
Oh yeah.
I left the home.
Maybe,
Dad got a zero turn mower.
Maybe they saved money when you left.
Yeah, somehow. And then they got because we used to pull the ice shanty out onto the lake, with it was mostly like me and my dad, I was like a mule. Now he got a 4-wheeler.
Tommy, I got to tell you, your upbringing and mine were so different.
Why? What do you mean?
Yeah. The whole idea of an ice shanty and fishing in the winter and all the things that you talk about are so very different from what I experienced.
What did
as
you
a
do in the
suburban
winter?
kid?
Yeah. Well, you guys red rain, not a lot of snow.
Very different. So
yeah, when you got this,
I feel like when I listen to you, it's like listening to some guy from a far off land,
like Narnia,
describing what it's like where the winter. It's
Mr.
always winter.
It's always winter, Mr. Tumnus. I'm cold. Yeah. No.
Speaking of always cold.
Yeah. Speaking of, we're gonna have a conversation today. Listen, the Segways are the best. Do you know that Wesley thought that Segways were only the motorized vehicle?
Oh my word!
You didn't know that they were?
Yeah. It was an actual. Yeah.
Was it
a term that refers to moving from one subject to the next?
So in true fashion, we have a conversation. You're going to talk to Peyton today, who's at our Aurora campus, and you guys are going to walk through her story because we believe that everyone has one, and you guys are going to jump into hers right now. Hope you like the new setup. Let's go.
Sitting across from Peyton Henderson. Peyton, is it Payton?
Peyton.
Okay, so I got to tell you that how many Peytons do you know?
One.
Just one other besides you?
I think, or two.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite basketball players in the history of the world was named Gary Payton.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, no, I can always remember people who are named Peyton. Peyton, how old are you?
I am 25.
25 years young, old.
Young. Yep.
So you can rent a car.
I can rent
Have
a car
you
now.
rented a car?
No, I did try not too long ago, but we didn't end up needing one. So
Really?
didn't go through with it. Yeah.
Oh, you got it. This is the first thing I did when I was 25 years old. There are these different markers, right? The last one is 35 when you can run for president. So I expect at 35 for you to be on the presidential
All right,
roll.
I'll set a reminder.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Peyton, are you from, you work, the reason you partly why you're here is because that you work at our Aurora campus. What do you currently do?
I'm the administrative assistant for the adult ministry. So I pretty much just work with Pastor John.
Okay. What kinds of stuff do you do?
Bunch of different things, help out with events, communications, talk to our congregation, hang out with the staff, make funny videos of John. That's pretty much the gist.
Okay. Do you make funny videos? Is that a thing you do?
Of John, yes.
Do you TikTok?
I don't TikTok.
Why not?
It's just so confusing. I don't really know how to use it super well.
Not even Instagram. You're not like.
I do Instagram a little bit.
Okay.
I do use Instagram a little bit. Mm-hmm.
So if someone followed you on Instagram, they would get regular stuff on Instagram from you. What kinds of stuff would you put on Instagram?
I post a lot of outdoor stuff. I post a lot of like pictures of trees and grass.
Why?
Yeah, I like God's creation.
What is the best thing you've ever posted?
I posted a video of my sister and I climbing not too long ago, and it was fun because it was just us two and
rock climbing.
Yeah, rock climbing. Mm-hmm. Good.
Is that a thing that you grew up doing?
No, not so much. My sister got into it about 2 years ago, and then kind of got me into it and kept going.
2 years ago, you got into it.
I think so. Somewhere 3
Okay.
years ago, something like that.
Are there different grades of rock climber?
Yeah.
So like about rock climbing. It's not like you just, little dip your toe in the water. It's a thing you do now.
Yeah, it has become a big part of my life, for sure.
So what when you say big part, what do you mean? How much time would you spend rock climbing?
I go like a couple days a week to like a local gym, which is super fun. And then I actually have a club that I go to on Wednesdays.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. It's later tonight. Yeah.
Okay. And when you go to the club, it's at the gym too? The same gym?
Yep.
Okay. And is it a climbing gym, a special climbing gym, or is it just a wall at the end of a gym and another one?
It's a climbing gym. So tons of climbing walls. They do have a little workout section, but it's pretty much just climbing.
So I'm assuming that climbers are preparing to go climb outside though.
Yeah, I do sometimes climb outside, but there's really not a lot of that here. So
Okay. What's the best climbing that you've done outside?
Let's see. I climbed in Colorado in October, I think, or November. That was really cool. It was Poudre Canyon, I think it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with my sister. I would say that was probably the coolest one I've done.
How big is it?
It was pretty high. I didn't do anything too crazy because I was scared, but it was probably like 40, 50 feet, but I didn't go all the way up. So
Holy smokes.
yeah.
So talk to me. Were you freaked out when you first did this?
Yeah. The first time I ever climbed was outside. And
Why did you say yes?
My sister's really good at peer pressure.
And she's like, you have to climb this wall. Okay.
Pretty much.
And did she teach you like certain tricks or things like that at that point? Or did she just say, you know what, go up the wall?
It was a little bit of both. She did teach me a good amount, and then she said, go up the wall. So I
okay.
guess it was kind of both.
What are the first things you have to learn as a rock climber?
You got to learn how to use your rope for what we were doing because we were.
Oh, you're using a rope. Well,
Yeah,
that's easy.
We weren't doing that.
I'm kidding.
We weren't doing all the boulder stuff. That's too scary. But we were using rope and all the things. So.
Okay, so they rope, somebody's on the ground and you're in a harness and they've got a rope tied to their waist down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it through like a caliper or something down there so that they have leverage and that kind of stuff? So if you fall off, you'll hang there. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. We're safe.
So at the first time that you did it though, did you think that, I mean, cause in your mind, that you're safe, right? If you fall off, you're gonna be safe unless the person below is way lighter than you and all that.
Yeah.
But when you first went up, did you think about that, or were you freaked out of your mind? I'm never doing this, so I'm interested to.
Yeah, I was really scared the first time I went up. First time I went up, I took a really long time, and my sister kept having to be like, "Just go up," and I was freaking out. But
you were at the bottom.
I was at the top. She was the one down belaying me, and I was at the top climbing.
Okay.
And I was super scared. But then after
so
that
did you? What do you call it? Abseil down or whatever. So you were at the top.
Yeah,
and
I was at the top. So I climbed to the top, and then you have to attach the top, and then you have to come back down. But as you come down, you have to detach yourself. It's complicated.
Okay. And so how long did it take you to get down?
For the first time, like 15, 20 minutes. Took me a while to come down. I was scared.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what level, you said that there's different levels. What are they?
It's kind of like there's levels, but it's like there's grades in climbing. So
Okay.
like an easy one would be like a 5.7 for what I do. And then a hard one's like a 5.13.
So why a 5? What do those numbers mean?
Someone told me once, I don't totally remember. I think
Okay.
it has to do with like incline. Like all walls are like a 5 because of like if you're going up, you're going up.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
And then the second number is like the difficulty, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the most difficult? The higher the number, the more difficult
Yeah.
it gets?
I think it gets to like 14, 15, I think.
Holy
I'm not totally
smokes.
sure.
Are you hoping someday to get to that point?
I don't know if I will be able to, but I have confidence that my sister will. I feel like she'd be able to do
Is she older or younger than you?
it. Younger.
Oh, so little sister got you into this mess.
She did.
Okay, but you do it several times a week.
Yeah, now I do. She definitely got me hooked onto it.
Are there other things that you do to like prepare yourself to climb a wall?
No, just kind of go.
You just go
Yeah.
and you do it. Well, because there's Lindsay, she's a friend here, and I know she does a little bit of rock climbing.
Yeah.
She's told me that anyway. And okay, but your goal here should be to climb the Chief in British Columbia, okay?
Okay.
This is, I'm not kidding, this is a rock wall that's probably It's probably 3,000 feet high.
I don't know.
Is that too much? No, it's about that. You got to go there.
Okay.
But if you do, you'll die. No, I see people climb up there. It's unbelievable how they do. The people come from all over the world to climb the Chief. But if you can, seriously, you Google the Chief Squamish, British Columbia, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
Yeah, if you don't,
intense.
Later I'm going to be very upset with you.
Okay.
I'm going to show it to you after we're done. Absolutely. Did you grow up in Chicago land?
Yeah,
Is this
we were
home?
from Colorado, and then we moved here when I was like 6.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've been here for a long time.
We're in Colorado.
Denver, outside Denver.
All right. Do you remember that very much, though?
Not really. No. I remember I had some friends, and I kind of remember my daycare, and that's about where it stops.
Okay. Why did you move here?
My dad's job.
Oh, okay. What's your dad do?
He is a manager, like a business manager.
Yeah.
So he's working for Comcast at the time.
Oh, yeah. Does he still work for them?
No, he works for Dom and General.
Yeah, because I got rid of Xfinity myself recently. Just done with it. You know what I mean? Too much money. He works for who now?
Dom and General.
Oh, I don't know it.
Yeah, it's like a different like type of company.
Okay. So you've been here your whole day. What part of Chicagoland is home? Aurora?
Palatine, actually. Yeah, I know, not far.
I live near Palatine.
Oh, really?
I do. I regularly ride my bike on the streets of Palatine.
Oh.
Yeah. Dear friends of ours actually live near there. John and Sherri Smith. Do you know them?
Really? Yeah.
Sherri's just sitting over there. But yeah, they live there now. Although, is it rolling? No, you live in, it's Palatine. Yeah. Yeah, they live there now. What part of Palatine? Come on, help me. You don't need any cross streets or anything because people then will attack people.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but we live close to Hamilton Park. You know Hamilton Park?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know most. I mean, like I know a lot of it, but I live in Barrington on the south edge of the village. So I ride my bike across over through there's a really cool woods over there and stuff. Yeah. I like Palatine.
Yeah.
It's kind of my speed.
Good.
I have to go there whenever I want Lou Malnati's pizza. So that's
makes sense.
frequent. So when you grew up, were you what school did you go to? High school?
Palatine.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
no, I ride my bike there. The Pirates.
Yep, the Palatine Pirates.
Yeah, and so you graduated. Let me guess. Hold on. You graduated in 2018.
Yep. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah, you're the same age as my oldest son, I think.
Oh, really?
Ethan. Yeah, absolutely. He works out at Crystal Lake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because he does music.
Yes, he does. And his wife Riley, who you should know.
I do know Riley.
Yeah, it goes down. You guys are probably, I think, the same age. So you grew up in Palatine, and what did you do when you were growing up?
Hung out with my friends. Spent a lot of time at Harvest. I was going to the youth group starting my freshman year of high school. So that pretty much summed it up. I didn't really do a whole lot in high school.
No, like arts or dance or sports or none of that.
I did volleyball for 2 years, but I was horrible, and I only made the team because they didn't have cuts. And so then after that, I was like, that's enough. It's terrible.
Even in high school,
Yeah.
you made the team. Yeah. Oh, okay, well.
It's all right.
And you never had fun playing it?
I had a really good time playing it.
It's just that no one else had fun when you were playing it.
Yeah. We didn't really win a lot. So.
That's good. You were your best subject in school?
I was a big fan of history.
Really? What part? Well, like what aspect? All history? So like, or were you more interested in certain more recent history, or like World War II or 20th century stuff, or?
Yeah, I guess kind of all of it. Whatever, I guess little niche things in it that I liked.
Yeah,
like, that were interesting, like princess stuff, or like I love like the '60s and learning about that and things like that. So
right, I went to the JFK Museum. If you ever go to Dallas, have you ever been to Dallas?
I don't think so.
Okay, you got to go. When you go to Dallas, you got to go to the 6th floor museum, which is where they have the JFK, like, it's not a memorial. It's basically a museum that talks about like what his life and what happened and where he got shot from. You can stand right by the window where he got shot from, supposedly.
Okay.
And then they have all these conspiracy theories and stuff. But if you're like a history geek, you dig it. When you go and when you travel anywhere, do you ever like find out about all the history of the place before you go, so you can stand and take a selfie?
Sometimes.
Say, right here. There's a place in my town in Barrington that actually it's a park where Babyface Nelson, you know who this is?
Oh, the gangster?
Yeah. He got shot right there.
Really?
Yes. I rode my bike through it the other day and there was a plaque over there and I was like, what is that? And all of a sudden I looked at it and it was like, yeah, this is where Babyface Nelson got shot this many times.
I did not know that.
In Barrington.
Interesting.
Of
Well,
all
now
places.
I'll have to go over there. All right.
I know. Langen-Schulte Park, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. See, there's history everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was in the city a couple of years ago with actually my very good friends, John and Sherri Smith. And they showed us in the basement of one of the hotels, there was this place, a barber shop that was where Al Capone, right? Al Capone
Really?
used to used to hang out down there, which was crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah. John had somehow gotten the guy at the desk to show it to us. It's like, I don't know what they use it for now, but there were a little space on the floor that have circles that were where the old barbershop chairs were.
That's so cool.
Right?
Yeah. I love stuff like that. That's
I was
so
looking
cool.
for bullet holes everywhere. I was.
Okay.
No.
I probably would too.
Well, and there's a friend I have who actually says that he lives next door, says in Barrington, he says he lives next door to a house that was used or owned by Capone or his buddies.
Really?
Yeah. Because, that used to be on the edge of Chicago. Mm-hmm. Barrington used to be like the very, very edge, far out. Mm-hmm. And so that back in those days, it was like a farmhouse type thing. Mm-hmm. And they used to have
so cool.
all that kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
There. It's part of the reason I like going downtown Chicago all the time.
Yeah. Downtown Chicago is super cool.
Yeah.
So much history and just so many things that you can learn every time.
So you have tell me your family, one sister?
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Younger
sister, your older sister. So you grew up in a family that was going to church all the time or went to church later or what?
We went to church when I was little and then stopped as I got older, but then I got connected to Harvest through a friend.
Okay.
So then I kept going. So
your family, not as much?
Not as much, yeah.
Okay. How did you get connected to Harvest? They just invited you to come to the youth group?
Yeah, pretty much. It was a friend of mine. I wasn't really going to church so much anymore, and she invited me to go to camp, Camp Harvest. And I was kind of like on the rocks of my faith. Like I'd kind of stepped back from it and decided that I actually was not a Christian anymore.
Yeah.
And right around that same time, she asked me to come to camp. And I was like, okay, summer camp, like there's probably gonna be like a cute boy or something. I'll just go. Yeah. So I go, and I remember like I sat in the bathroom through all the messages. And then on the last message I came out. You
sat in the bathroom during all the messages?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm here for the fun stuff. I'm not doing this. And then last day I was like, felt like I should go out there and give my life to Christ. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Kept going.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was good.
Did you meet a cute boy?
No.
Oh,
boy, but God had different plans. So.
You met the Lord Jesus, though.
Yeah,
that's much
God,
better.
So, yeah.
That's great. What did you like about the camp? Did you like the camp?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the week, even if we did, as a general rule, you were like, nah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. At the end, I was like, that was good. That was fun.
That's really great.
Go back. So.
Oh, that's great. What about it did you like? Do you like the sledding, or it was the summer camp though?
Summer camp.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been out there twice to the camp Harvest. Yeah. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Newaygo, Michigan. And I actually went to the store in Newaygo, Michigan, and I bought a hoodie that said the Newaygo Lions, which is apparently the local high school team. And they were selling a hoodie in the grocery store right next to the, like, I don't know, Cracker Jacks or whatever. And I thought that was the greatest thing I'd seen in a while. You could buy a hoodie at the grocery store.
It's definitely a small town.
It is. Yeah, it was. I had a hamburger, I think, at their Wendy's, and it was the worst hamburger I've had.
Oh, it was bad?
Yeah, no, it wasn't good at all. But you know what? Look, maybe it was just an off day for the Newaygo Wendy's. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it might have just been a bad day for them.
Totally. Okay, so when you finished high school, what did you want to do? When you were growing up, did you have like a dream? You know, parents and everybody is saying like, what do you want to do with your life? Was there anything that had piqued your interest at the time?
Yeah, Yeah. I never really knew a career. Like I was never a kid that had like a career they wanted to go into. I knew when I was little that I wanted to do missions. That was always something that I wanted to do. But that was about where the line, that was it. And I had no idea what I want to do with my life. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever figure out what you want to do with your life?
Yes.
Or at 25, are you still like, I don't know?
I feel like I've taken the mentality of like, I'm pursuing things, but it's whatever God wants.
Oh, totally.
Where he wants me to be, which has been like really great because it's landed me here. But I do want to do something in the outdoor world setting somewhere in there. So wherever that ends up down the line. But
when this is over, remind me to tell you about a really cool thing that does that. I've just had the opportunity to be a part of different things in the years. And so I have some connections with different groups that actually do that very thing.
Oh, really?
Christian ministries that actually are kind of camp oriented, but that are also kind of outward bound sort of ministries. It's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And then you could use your climbing experience.
I could use my climbing.
In fact, I went to a Bible college at one point in my life in Austria, where the guy who was running it was like a world-class rock climber.
That's so cool.
And they've got some pretty crazy mountains there in the middle of Austria. The mountain range, which was nearby, was unbelievable. But I remember him talking to us, and he gave an entire talk on something, but I wasn't paying attention to it because the whole time he was stuck on a wall. He would just show us the different like grips and things, and then he could basically hold himself up with one finger.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And stuff, and it was really, really unbelievable. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, an Austrian guy. But yeah, there's some really cool ministries and stuff like that do that. Mm-hmm. So when you graduated from high school, was it kind of expected that you go to college or not college? I don't know. Where'd you go?
Yeah, definitely expected that I go to college. So I ended up going to Liberty over in Virginia.
Oh, why?
Yeah. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I can be a very passive person. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go to school. My parents had said I needed to go to a Christian school. And I saw biggest Christian school in the country, and I was like, all right, that'll be cool. And I applied, I got in, and I went. Didn't really think about anything else.
So what was your first take on Liberty when you got there? Did you visit before you went?
Yeah, I did the CFAW, like the college for a weekend.
Okay.
So I did get to go, met some really cool people. The campus was really pretty. Yeah.
And then you got there, and was it what you wanted it to be, or did you go through a difficulty of thinking, well, I don't want to be here anymore?
I definitely had my off and on moments with it. I did end up graduating, so I did stay the whole time, which is good. But a part of me does wish I'd waited just because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But
yeah.
Overall, it was good.
What's your degree in?
Psychology.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Useless. Well done. I have a degree in communications.
Yeah.
So look, I understand useless degrees, but psychology. So are you psychoanalyzing me right now?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
When I can. Yeah.
That bothers me.
Oh, sorry.
So what does that say about me that it bothers me?
Probably that. I don't know. I could try.
What is your so is there a particular area of psychology that you found most interesting?
I do like abnormal psychology.
Yeah.
I that's kind of where I started like deciding to go down that path, was because I was interested in that. It just was interesting to learn about. So.
Okay, give me some aspects of abnormal psychology. List off somebody who's abnormal in their psychology.
Yeah.
If you say me, I'm not gonna be happy.
Okay, I'll put that. Okay,
yeah.
Well, you said it, not me. But I'm gonna say, like, I guess I always just think of people like that have schizophrenia, that struggle with that, or bipolar disorder. Those things, like, I was very interested in because I wanted to know how they can be helped and things like that. So,
did you think it ever about being a therapist or those sorts of things? Do you still think about it?
Yeah, I still think about it. I just knew there's like the certifications that you need, usually like a master's degree.
I was going to say so much more education and stuff that you end up having to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Do all of your friends try to take advantage of your psychology degree now? Where they ask you questions? I have a couple other
psych friends.
Okay.
Yeah, which works out because then we can just talk about it with each other, and it's fine.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. I remember my wife. She ended up getting a degree in education, but psychology was one that she wanted to be a what do you call it, a social worker.
Oh yeah.
And so she also found abnormal psychology the most fascinating aspect. And I've told her repeatedly that that's because the Lord was preparing her for her marriage to me. Because I do, like I have, well, I'm not schizophrenic, but I have lots of mental health challenges. So I thank God for psychologists, at least the good ones.
Yeah, God's always doing something. So
yeah. So when you graduated from college, which was 2022,
I did graduate late.
Okay.
I took some time off to make money so I could keep going to school.
Oh yeah.
And then
What'd you do?
I worked
Where?
around town. I worked at what's it called, Zales for a little while.
Like the diamond people?
Yeah, that was a cool.
Did you sell? You sold diamond rings and things?
I was terrible at it, so not really. But I was too passive.
Is that why?
Yeah, like
Do you
I was
have
too
to be
laid back about it. I wasn't.
I
good
would
at the
think
sales.
that people would appreciate that, but
They did. I made a lot of friends, but when it came to actually getting them to
buy a
purchase
ring,
the jewelry, because it was so expensive, I was not the best at it. So.
right? Was it a commission job?
Yeah,
Oh,
partially.
so you were.
So I moved on from that, and I started working at Tuesday Morning, and I was there for a long time.
That's like a food place.
It's like a department store.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Is there a place called
Ruby
Tuesday? Ruby
Tuesdays?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mhm.
What does Tuesday Morning sell then?
it's like a mini TJ Maxx
Oh,
with no clothes. So it's all like the random stuff.
oh, random stuff. Were you like a checker?
Yeah,
At the
I did,
front.
like the register and like the.
How'd you get that
organizing.
job? Just walked in and said, "I want to work here."
I think that I applied and they hired me, and I was like, cool, and stayed for a while. So
How many places were you applying to? Or did you shop there and think, it would be pretty good to work here?
I knew they used to have a Tuesday Morning here, and I'd been when I was little. So then I was like, that'd be kind of fun.
Okay.
And my
Was it fun?
coworkers- Yeah, I loved my coworkers.
Oh,
It was
cool.
super laid back. It was actually really fun.
That's great. Did you work full time?
Almost. I was just under.
Oh, wow. And so then you went back to school. Was it during COVID that you were there?
I worked a little bit before COVID. I was working there, and then I think COVID happened, moved back home, and then came back and I started working there again.
Oh, okay. But school, you weren't in college during COVID.
I was in my sophomore year.
Okay.
But I think I switched to online after that. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's why you came back.
yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I went back.
Would you move back to Virginia if you had a choice?
Yeah.
Why?
I really liked it there.
Is it, what about it is so good?
The people are pretty laid back, and it's just such a beautiful place. And the hiking there is like still good, but it's not too much where you're just like it takes all day. You can like go hike after
Peyton,
work or
I
something.
got to get you to go to British Columbia.
I know.
You're an outdoorser. Okay, we got to get you in the Pacific Northwest or British Columbia. I'm just telling you,
know.
you
I'm
might
really
find
missing
it
out.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So you've after college, you've been working where?
Okay. After college, I worked for Liberty for a little bit to finish out my degree, which was really nice.
What were you doing there?
Call center. So I just talked to people all day.
About what?
I worked for their new enrollment department, so it was all new students. I just pick up their calls, schedule their classes, talk about their life a bit.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's great. So then you did that for a little bit, and then you came back to Chicagoland and worked at something else.
Yeah. So I graduated pretty recently. So I wrapped up at Liberty, and then I started nannying for a little bit. And then after doing that for a little bit, I actually got the harvest job, and I've been at Aurora for almost a year. So
Really?
yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah. I think I'm at 11 months.
Holy cow. Where have I been?
I mean, it's far away, so I get it. It's like kind of out there.
Yeah, but I used to go down more to Aurora than I have recently. I mean, my time's been tied up at, unfortunately, other campuses and things.
Makes sense.
But I've always said that the Aurora campus is one of my favorite places to go because it reminds me of a church that I used to work for years ago, and same sort of vibe. In fact, the smell, when I walk into the doors, I breathe deeply and I'm like,
Okay.
well, there's a small church, when I say small church, I'm not saying it's tiny, but like there's a smaller church smell that if you've been around and you're old like me, that you get used to, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Remember it's going into churches that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's it like to work with John Bell?
It's exciting. It's
Is
very
it
exciting.
Every
Yes.
day is just a new adventure.
Pretty much, yeah. And I also I share an office with a girl named McKenna who has quickly become a good friend of mine, and we love to basically just, like I said, make videos of John, and then
Yeah.
he likes to make fun of us, and
Nice.
it's pretty much just how it is.
That's good. Did you had you ever been to the Aurora campus before?
No, I actually had never been, not once, because in high school I went to a couple of the campuses, but never Aurora.
Okay.
So
Do you live down there?
no, I live in Arlington Heights.
So it's a bit of a drive.
A little bit, yeah, but worth it.
You still live with your family, or you still live on your own?
Yeah, I have a roommate. She also goes here, and we have an apartment downtown Arlington Heights, which is great.
It is.
Yeah.
Downtown Arlington Heights is kind of a funky little spot, I think.
Like,
It is
a
just sort
little
of trendy.
bit. It is trendy.
Yeah, when I was there, don't go there very often. But again, like I ride my bike around, and so I went down through there at one point, and I was like, this is like really a nice little
like
spot. Yeah, I got some good restaurants and stuff. I think it was the last time I was there though. It was during the late summer, early fall, and it just I don't know, lots of people out and about
Yeah.
on the street and eating food and things like that. All right, what would you recommend that I do in Arlington Heights? What is the thing? If you're an outdoorsy person and you want to enjoy Chicagoland, but Arlington Heights in particular, what would you do?
So we're newer residents. We moved there in January, so I haven't figured out the outdoor side yet.
Okay.
Still trying to figure that out. There are a few good forest preserves in the area, but
Which ones?
I really like Cuba Marsh.
Yes.
That one's so nice.
That's near
I
my
love going
house.
there. Really?
That's in Barrington.
I guess it is in Barrington. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
It's really
Like
nice.
I ride my bike through there all the time, unfortunately. It's a way to get to other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm a
The
big
Deer
fan of that
Park one, if you
Deer
ever
Park
like
is-
that.
I love the Deer. It's so big.
It is.
So-
Yeah, and there's two sides of it. For those of you who are listening, if you ever want to have a good time on a bike, you should go to Deer Park West, which is a gravel, but a big gravel trail that runs around it that's probably about 4 or 5 miles long, something like that.
That one's really long.
You can drive, but then there's also a lot of mountain biking trails that run through there and also through the east side, which has a paved trail that goes all the way around it. Basically gets to Palatine High School.
It does. Yes.
It's very, very close through a shopping development.
Very close.
Over there. Oh, see, I can tell you some outdoor places
Pretty
then.
good because I don't know.
No, there's some really cool ones. The Buffalo Grove stuff's pretty cool. Have you ever been up there?
A little bit.
Is that Buffalo Grove? Is that what you call that? Buffalo? That's right, Buffalo Grove. I've Long Grove as well, but Buffalo Grove's got all sorts of really cool trails. In fact, they've got an entire park that looks an awful lot like Cuba Marsh.
They do?
Yes, all through there. I'm telling you. As a newbie, I find these spots and then I try to ride my bike through them as often as I can. And that one up in Buffalo, I think they call it the Buffalo Creek Trail.
Okay. I think my roommate runs that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a big fan.
Very cool and very close to where you live.
Okay, well, I need to write that down because
I've got all sorts of information. I'm like a fountain of local knowledge, except that I'm not. It's funny though, when you are committed to being in the outdoors, and especially if you ride a bike or you run or whatever, you end up going in streets and places that a lot of people don't know. And so there have been several times where I've spoken to people and they'll be like, I've lived here for 20 years, and they'll tell me where they live, and I'll say, oh yeah, I ride my bike through this area, and they're like, what is it? And I'm like,
that's so true.
Oh my goodness. I said, it's really cool. There's this street that goes through, and then they tell me later, oh, I went down that street. It's so cool. I was like, yeah, right?
That's good.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. It's great to have you working at the church
Yeah, it's great.
for a year. I feel actually quite awful that
that's okay.
that you and I have not. Well, we've met each other before, but I've not ever had a chance to sit down and talk to you. So what everyone is hearing is the first conversation I've really had with Peyton for very long. Okay, I'm going to finish with a lightning round though.
Okay.
Okay, these are easy questions. Okay, favorite food?
Steak.
Really?
Yeah.
Any place? What place?
I don't really know a place.
And how do you have your steak done?
Well done.
What?
Yeah.
Is that because you're afraid of dying? Or
Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But like a really high-end steak, or are you more like if somebody just threw some average steak at you, you're pretty good.
With some A1 sauce specifically.
Oh, throwing the sauce on it.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. Favorite vacation spot?
I haven't really been to a lot, so I'd probably have to say like Colorado, like somewhere where there's mountains.
It has to mountains.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite thing to do on your off time, is it climbing?
Probably, yeah, climbing.
Okay. Second favorite thing to do?
Hang out with my friends.
All right. What do you do when you hang out with your friends?
Usually get food, sit, talk, walk, something.
Okay.
Activities.
Best restaurant?
Oh gosh. Chick-fil-A. Can I say that?
Yeah. Of course you can say that.
Okay, Chick-fil-A.
It's always interesting when people say, "Oh, my favorite restaurant," and then they give some like really high end restaurant. I'm like, yeah, but that's not where you go. What's like the go to? You got to look. I gotta go. I've got a Wednesday night and I have time to eat. I'll go to, and it's Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A or Portillo's. They're neck and neck.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you get at Portillo's?
Cheese fries and a chocolate shake. It's like my go-to meal. I have to have it.
I'm not sure that's a meal, Peyton.
It's a meal to me.
Cheese fries and chocolate.
Big fan of it. So.
Okay. Do you get the cake shake?
No.
Have you ever had the cake shake?
I have had it.
I had it once when I was in Los Angeles years ago.
Yeah, I don't really understand it.
Yeah, I'm still full from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, shoving a cake in a shake doesn't seem to make a lot of chance. What's the food at Chick-fil-A?
I get the I think it's I don't remember what number it is, but the grilled nugget meal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's very similar to that.
Yeah.
She's right into those grilled nuggets.
So good.
All right. Best date you've ever been on? Silence. You can also choose your worst date. Whichever one comes to your mind.
Gosh, I can't even think of any dates. Best date, probably. It was a hiking date. And there was a picnic at the
that's
top.
pretty good.
That was fun.
Yeah, for somebody who likes hiking.
Yeah.
Worst?
I went on a date once with someone who I didn't know. A friend set us up, and he was drunk when he showed up. I was really uncomfortable. So.
Where are you now?
Yeah. Quickly wrap that up and went home. But yeah.
All right.
That was interesting.
That is very interesting. Yeah.
It's probably the worst.
Well, it's really great to talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending time with me. And God bless you as you continue to serve the Lord in our church.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. The rest of you, we'll talk to you next time.